go off stage so we can focus on you.
Awesome. Thank you again. Once again, thanks for the opportunity. Really appreciate coming here to talk about HBO Max, who we are, where we're going. Last year, I was given this amazing opportunity to come join the HBO Max team and take part in this journey of building a new streaming experience. And it's not just about building a new streaming experience for it's redefining, like, what can we really do with a streaming experience. So really excited to be here. Been here a little over a year. So HBO Max is Warner Media's direct-to-consumer platform. We offer the best-in-class quality entertainment. We launched our platform in May of 2020, and we recently began our global rollout across 39 markets in Latin America and the Caribbean. And globally, right now, HBO and HBO Max has over 67 million customers, and we really haven't even scratched the surface of our potential yet. So at the HBO Max security team, we were incredibly excited to help tell the HBO Max story, but we were also very eager to build. We really wanted to roll up our sleeves and get into building. Not just build an architecture that facilitates this global scale, but we wanted to build a security culture that drives innovation, right? The one thing the HBO Max security team never wanted to be accused of was lacking imagination. Our mission as a team was to establish a customer-driven security culture that enables our growing business while securing the customer experience. Understanding our business partners and their challenges was the first step in establishing a customer-driven security culture, as our development and product organizations are at the ground level really solving those customer problems. Look, we recognize that, and we welcome the opportunity to support them. And when you look at what they're solving, right, creativity comes into play. Creativity plays a big part in problem solving. And at times, fear gets in the way of that creativity, really limiting what's possible. So the HBO Max security team, when we started partnering with the development and product organizations, we did not want to bring controls or limitations to the problem-solving process. We wanted to deliver solutions, right? As part of establishing that customer-driven security culture, the team wanted to help break down those fears that consistently slow down innovation. And I'm sure everyone here can relate, right? There's fear of a security risk, fear of a misconfiguration, fear of the unknown, right? As security practitioners, we wanted to help our business overcome those fears. Fear does not get to dictate our tempo, right? Our customers do. Our development and product organization, guess what? They're our customers as well. Their creativity and problem solving is what allows HBO Max to deliver on a seamless customer experience, right? Creating a friction-free experience for security to be applied in our environment was paramount for the HBO Max security team. We felt the more that we enable our development and product organizations, the more they could innovate on behalf of our customers, right? The security team embodied extreme ownership of securing the customer experience and collaborate across the organization to identify where we could remove friction within the development lifecycle to enable risk-taking, right? Risk-taking is necessary while innovating. Those who do not take risks will always be chasing those that do, right? And at HBO Max, we want to be on the bleeding edge of innovation. So our approach to accomplish this shift in security culture was to build an event-driven architecture with visibility and guardrails. Again, no controls, no limitations. We did not want to put that into the culture. The HBO Max security team leveraged the AWS Cloud Adoption Framework to formulate our build plan with security epics around IAM, data protection, access management, incident response, resilience, secure CI/CD, just to name a few. An event-driven architecture helps us facilitate the developer experience, focus on detection, and enable automatic remediation. So how are we doing it, right? The main components of our architecture are broken into two focus areas: detection and remediation. This approach allows us to create, again, the right guardrails that enable our development and product organizations while offering rapid response if necessary, thereby building that confidence in the innovative and problem-solving process. So here's the detection portion of our architecture, which leverages services like CloudTrail to source real-time events as resources are being built or actioned on. And that could be anything from like overly permissive security groups to network and port changes, right? We also leverage GuardDuty across our VPCs to ingest a variety of logs like CloudTrail logs, VPC flow logs, DNS logs to detect possible malicious events. Those events, in conjunction with our inspector and config events, are fed into Security Hub. which we use as our central dashboard for all of the security findings across our AWS services. Next is Amazon Event Bridge. It is a core component to our event-driven architecture. This allows us to automatically connect our detection and remediation capabilities. Event Bridge helps us drive remediation by delivering a stream of real-time data from events to our custom security lambdas for both prevention and remediation. This offers us a cost-effective way of automating security in a multi-region, multi-account environment. So those lambdas are driven by Cloud Custodian. This helps us improve our security development velocity. Our security engineers can build a simple YAML file defining detection, remediation, and notification actions via Slack, which Cloud Custodian then converts into lambdas. This architecture pushes more automation across our detection and remediation capabilities. We believe that we should not be fixing the same problem twice. It's not effective. It's not efficient with our resources. Everyone here is an automation away from updating their resume. And you know what? That is a good thing. As security practitioners, we need to embrace that. We also believe that responding to risk with automation is necessary in today's digital world. If we are not responding at the speed of a tweet, we are not responding quick enough for our customers. So why we chose Cloud Custodian, right? Cloud Custodian for us, it's lightweight, flexible, and provides a rules engine that allows us to consolidate our scripts and our remediation efforts, more importantly, in one place, right? We define the rules and Cloud Custodian enforces them. So again, it's very lightweight and flexible. It gives us a lot of optionality across our environment. Next is speed of remediation. Again, we need to have that speed, responding at the speed of a tweet. I think Cloud Custodian gives a lot of opportunity to do that and put in those rules and update those rules quickly so that we can, again, service our customers. And finally, enable the business, right? When we have the opportunity to remediate things quickly or provide the right amount of guardrails for our business, we get scale quicker. It gives confidence to our business that can take those type of calculated risk to, again, service our customers. Some of the common Cloud Custodian rules that we are currently using here's an example: tagging resources by creator. Why is that important, right? We want, as resources get built in our environment, we want to know who the creator was down to the developer, more importantly, the service. What part of it is servicing our experience? How does it need to be out there? And tagging it gives us that visibility and ability to track that down. Another good one that we use for within Cloud Custodian, one of the rules is to detect unsupported AMIs. Why that's important to us is we want to make sure that we have those standards as those AMIs are facilitating the experience. We don't want things to be divergent, and it reduces our ability to respond in the event that something negative does happen. We prevent creating or updating public resources without the appropriate tag, right? We want the tags to identify where these resources should be: public, private, internal, by service team. Again, this is something that we do automatically, and we prevent resources from actually going public without the tag. Here's another good example: is we find unencrypted resources and set encryption according to its business function, right? We're a public company. We have a lot of different services that at times we get to dictate differently where we want to put the encryption and how we want to do it. And we're leveraging Cloud Custodian as rules to do that for us. So these are just some of the examples of how we are using Cloud Custodian rules in the rules engine. There are so many more policies and so many more rules that we have, but these are just some of the common ones that we are firing on commonly. So what's next for HBO Max? Look, we are excited to announce that in 2 weeks from today, on October 26th, we will continue our global expansion with certain countries in Europe. We're incredibly excited about that, and we want your help in doing so. We have over close to 200 open roles right now within HBO Max across multiple disciplines. So if you want to be challenged and you want to be given the opportunity to be creative in problem solving, come put your mark on building a new streaming experience and join us. All right, so that's what's up for what's next for HBO Max. Again, really appreciate the opportunity of being here. Really appreciate your time. I think up next is Q&A. But before we get into Q&A, I do want to just post it again. Thank you, guys. Here's the careers site. Please visit it. If it's something that you're really interested in, just warnermediacareers.com/HBO Max. Again, we have multiple roles across many disciplines in tech, and we are rapidly hiring and scaling. So So I'll open it up for questions. I'm actually going to exit this and stop sharing my screen. And I'll just give me 1 second.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Brian. That was awesome. That was a lot of content in 10 minutes. So we do have about 5-6 minutes for some Q&A as well. How often do you get to talk to a CISO directly as well? And that too about Cloud Custodian, right? So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat window or in the Q&A tab. So I know there's a delay for the stream, so we'll just take a minute to get any Q&As in. So we'll wait a minute, a couple more minutes to get people to ask a few more questions. Let me look at my queue as well. I guess the question is, like, how did you get started with Cloud Custodian? Like, how did you started driving the adoption in the first place? Who was the first users, and was it security? A lot of people ask, like, I have questions like, does cost, compliance, security? Is the security team operating it?
Great question, right? So for in our environment, Mrunal Shah, who's the head of cloud security, fantastic architect, he brought this approach to HBO Max, and he was one of the first hires in the HBO Max Security Team shortly after I started. And we talked about how do we enable innovation? How can we actually help our developers solve those customer problems quickly? Having the right guardrails without having that overbearing or kind of like dictation approach from a security team. We wanted to, again, enable. And his architecture said, hey, let's leverage Cloud Custodian. Let's put this in the environment. We could really, really drive a lot of change. Not just on the security side too, right? Infrastructure, operations team could definitely use Cloud Custodian for some of their ruling, their rules as well. So again, that was it really did start within Mrunal Shah. He does have this is my architecture session coming on AWS. It'll be dropping pretty soon. He goes into more detail on this particular architecture and more detail on how we're using Cloud Custodian.
Yep. And please keep sharing your questions. One more question came in. How would you I really like that you emphasize the word fair a lot, right? What would you recommend that how security teams themselves can do to, I guess the person means that to improve their image, because security is fair at times, right? So how do you become more partners with the development organizations?
It's about business enablement, right? And fear always slows down innovation. What you got to do is position security as that team that is not there just to fight fires. Yes, right. That's what we do. But we're there to enable the business. And how do you break down those things that slow down innovation? Look at the critical path of your business. Look where security can be a part of that critical path, again, without slowing down, without creating any sort of roadblocks or creating friction in the development experience, right? So just really look to partner. It's really important that security gets involved with the business as a partner and not get involved in the business when something goes wrong, right? We're always going to be there when something goes wrong. We're a team. We're supposed to work problems together, but really position security as that business enabler and there that can solve problems quickly.
Another question came in that's very Cloud Custodian specific. So Cloud Custodian sends a lot of alerts. Do your users find the alerts helpful? At times, have there been any complaints? How do you manage those?
So great question. So we do use Slack for notifications. So a lot of the alerts, actually all of the alerts actually go there. And we do filter it out, right? So sometimes depending on how new the rule is or how we are using it or how much it fires, can get noisy, can get to a point that we haven't tuned it right. But there are alerts that we use that are very easy to action on, right? And that it helps us get notified very quickly of something that we didn't encounter before. So it just really depends on your appetite, on how you want to tune those rules, where you actually want to put them to for notification. If you're dumping them into an inbox, it's going to be harder for you to probably action on them quickly. So just depending on your culture and how your shop likes to operate, I would say just really focus on the tuning piece and exactly what's going to be more actionable to you and your teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's different organizations do it different ways. And we have another session today by one of the cloud engineers at Zapier around a unique approach they're using. So definitely that's a hot topic. So Brian, I'm going to speed up because the questions are coming in.
Yep.
So if you can just answer them quickly. I'm not sure if you're able to. It's not security related. Can you share anything about your scale in the cloud, like the amount of services and clusters? Daniel is asking.
Yeah, won't share the exact numbers, but we are scaling dramatically. Again, we launched in May of 2020, originally in the US, and then in June of this past year, or June of a few months ago, we launched across 39 markets across Latin America and the Caribbean, and now we are expanding with regions in Europe. So won't give the exact numbers, but what I will tell you is that we are scaling dramatically, a lot of infrastructure to support that, and Cloud Custodian and our event-driven architecture is with that scale. I think another thing that Cloud Custodian or this event-driven architecture and combined has really given us that opportunity to scale so quickly. Like, we're confident in being able to go out there, take on that risk of a new region, take on that risk of more awesome customers coming into the experience, and having that ability to respond when necessary.
Okay, great. Yeah, another quick question came. Due to COVID, organizations have gone fully virtual. Are there a lot more data leaks happening? Does your organization follow any compliance around that? Especially for cloud, Kubernetes, and Dockers?
Great question. Look, virtual, remote work, pre-COVID, after, however you want to look at it, we're technologists, right? In the tech world, I don't see too much changing from that remote workforce. Did it open up more risk? I'd say on the enterprise side, on the internal side, probably a little bit. I have to give a lot of credit to Warner Media, enterprise team. It was very seamless for us to actually transition. We actually launched the product well remote. May of 2020, the pandemic started in March, or started hitting the US like in March. So, we were locked in, but we've been able to, again, kudos to the Warner Media technology team for having everyone been able to transition to a remote workforce without skipping a beat, and still being able to scale at the pace that we are, still being able to provide that security experience for our users, for our internal users to develop and build this. So I don't see us, I don't see anybody really thinking that going back to the office is going to be another way of operating. I think as technologists, the remote workforce is here to stay. I think as security practitioners, we need to embrace putting more security in the browser. Everyone lives in the browser, so focus those kind of visibility and guardrails for your internal employees, around that browser aspect. And I think all of the compliance and security remediations will come with that. But we're not forcing users to kind of like come back into the office, because there's a fear of, again, back to fear. There's a fear of something not being able to be done from a remote workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we have 1 minute, so I'm going to take one more question. If you have more questions, I see them in the queue. Just feel free to push them in, type them in, and we'll make sure Brian answers them afterwards as well for the attendees. And we'll do a detail, like a doc, where some questions can be answered. So another question is last question. How critical is tagging services, especially when they're user faces components versus the other? Does Custodian help you hit your SLOs in that?
1,000%. So tagging is incredibly important. It's important for us because one, auditability, right? And being able to see what's going out there, where it belongs, what actions we actually drive are based on tags. Without tagging, we'll not be able to say, hey, execute this Lambda function to fix X, Y, and Z if we don't know what it is. So tagging is paramount for us to actually continue to action upon some of the cloud security Lambdas that we drive.
Great. With that, Brian, thank you so much. Any closing remarks?
No.
We're right on time.
Awesome. Listen, thank you everyone for attending. I really, really appreciate your time. Again, if you guys are really looking to be disruptive and be creative and be innovative, please take a look at warnermediascareer.com/HBO Max Jobs. Again, we have over 200 roles open, and we're looking for the best and brightest out there.
Yeah. And we'll
thank you again.
Thank you so much, Brian. We'll save this chat. If there are any follow-on questions, we'll definitely put them, create a doc for the rest of the presenters as well. But thanks, Brian. Keep